Greetings, how are you? This is Adrian, instructor for FYS 101 Fall Term 2020, 8-week version. This is the 8-week course version. So when I go into Syllabus here in Blackboard, you'll see the video will be down here. And we'll just go ahead and jump into the PDF of this. So I have a PDF as well as a Word, so you can print that out. Some basic information just regarding the syllabus. So a syllabi itself, is an informational document. Also, it's a document to provide a little bit of context regarding the course. Expectations, etc., are also set between the student, the instructor, the student, and the school and the instructor. It's kind of three people all kind of working together to help make this magic happen. We look at the syllabus, or syllabi as it's more accurately called. You have different sections in here. So in the very first part, we have the general course information. It's a 1 credit hour course. It begins on August 24th. And for some of you who may not know, this is actually an 8-week course, and it ends on October 18th. Also with this course, it's an online format. All content will be delivered on Blackboard, and all communication will be done via email or through Blackboard. With this course itself, the important dates you'd like to remember, and we put these in here all the time, is when the dang class begins, when you can withdraw for full refund, and then when you can withdraw from the course itself. And I hope none of you are in a situation where you have to withdraw from this course. Quite frankly, it's something where I think it's pretty beneficial to the student to be able to figure out where things are on campus, especially in a virtual format. And just also in this course, you look at it, it's almost like an indoctrination and an introduction to college. So it is pretty beneficial. So I hope none of you are ever in a situation where you have to withdraw from the course. But here are the dates for you. If we go a little bit further down, you can refer to me as Adrian. Here's my email address. A-Fleisch, whatever reason, the number of characters they allow in email don't allow the last letter of my last name. So while my last name is Fleischer, my email is afleisch@harpercollege.edu, and that is the best way to reach me. I do have a phone on campus, but I'm an adjunct. I teach like 4 courses at a time, 5 courses at a time, but I'm still a part-time instructor. And so as a result, I don't have a physical office or an actual phone, but I do have a voicemail box, but I rarely check that thing. Email itself is spot on perfect. You hit me up with an email, I'll get back to you much sooner, usually within 24 hours, to be quite honest, than I would with a phone call. So as I mentioned, this course is to kind of help introduce students who are in the STEM area of education to life in college. Now, some of you, you'll be pretty much at home here in a collegiate environment. Perhaps you transfer from somewhere else. Others of you, this will be your first time you're at college. And many of the services that we have at Harper, they're echoed at other schools and other universities. So if you can kind of map out these services here at Harper, you should be able to find these things at a U of I, a Northwestern, Illinois State, whatever it is, because all colleges have these different services in place for the students. So part of this is to expose you to these different support services, but also part of this is to expose you to different areas of academic planning and how to actually plan out career paths for you going forward. So what we're hoping to have with the outcomes here are within the college environment to help you utilize these services and also develop your academic behaviors, intellectual curiosity, all the things that you should be as a college student are things that are involved in this process, and also develop a plan of attack for each of you to kind of plan and strategize how you're going to get through college and then get into the workforce. And part of this is the concept of, okay, you're going to develop a plan, and with that plan is the academic component, and academic component costs money. So how can you get through this as smooth as possible? And so to that end, it's the academic plan and the career plan that kind of dovetail together. It's almost like puzzle pieces. One helps the other, and one helps you become more successful in the other. But it's how you can get through this process as quickly as possible. As I noted before, everything will be presented on Blackboard. And here it is, right? This is what everybody wants to know. How do you get on the A train? And with this course, originally it was written for 16, 17 weeks, and I had to truncate it down. And this is what I'm coming up with for our course in particular. So we've already done the pre-course writing assignment. We've already looked at one of the Focus 2 assignments, so we're good there. And then we're going to just continue on with the rest of the Focus 2 assignments. We'll do the 3 passport activities, which you'll see in the next presentation. we had one area of interest, and I'm going to stop the area of interest assignments at this point. So you're not going to have 10 of them anymore, and we're just going to go ahead and cap those right there. Attendance and participation, which is also post and reply. We're going to have, instead of the number we had previously, we're going to have 7 opportunities to do that at 5 points apiece. And then your academic plan at the end of the 8-week course is worth 25 points, and please fill out the student survey. I can't tell you how much feedback I've received and I've implemented into this class. I've taught this class several times. And here's how it is. Here's where it is, 265 points. And believe me, if you're doing the homework assignments in this class, you're going to come out of this with a good grade. I mean, there's no doubt. There's no reason why anybody should fail this course. And I failed people in this course. I didn't actually fail them. They failed themselves because they didn't do the work. And so they've earned themselves a failing grade. But in here, as long as you take care of this work up here and you get this work all into me, this is easily attainable. You should be able to get an A without a problem. Everything thereafter, this is kind of a breakdown of all different course description or different categories within the homework assignments. And if we roll through this a little bit further, it gives you an overview on how to do like the student survey, etc. I do my best to get the grades back to you within 24 to 48 hours. And you're in the middle of a 16-week term, and this course is actually 8 weeks. And there's times where a student can get lost in that process, and I urge you to speak up. Don't suffer in silence when it comes to this. When you're talking in education, talk with your professors, be open with your professors, speak with them, and think about the learning environment we're in now, and have that chance to actually speak with them and talk with them about if you're struggling a little bit, and see if they can make accommodations for you. In my case, I'm pretty darn accommodating. We do have a system that works behind the scenes, and I'll talk a little bit more about it. It's called Starfish. So if you bring concerns to an instructor, many times they can resolve those concerns with your team of people that work behind the scenes. So, I do my best, man. I tell you what, I try my best to create this kind of positive learning environment where I try to have good content that's relative, not like stale, boring stuff that I just hand over to you. And I try to have it be relevant and pertinent and of value. And you spend money to sit here and work on assignments, and instead of just churning stuff out and just being a content drone, I'd much rather have it be of value and have stuff that you can take with you as you go forward and kind of help you develop your academic plan and help you develop your career plan. Just stuff about behavioral expectations. These are things we put in here that are required by the college. Pretty straightforward stuff. You've seen it 1,000 times, I'm sure. In a content environment where we're writing stuff now and doing post and response, I ask you to never attack the person, but always attack the issue at hand. And that's kind of crucial in differentiating those two in life, but also in college environment, because you might be in a meeting somewhere down the road and the issue is really what's at hand, but you have to really make sure you're attacking that and not the person. Stuff like academic dishonesty, these are policies in place for the college, which I'm sure you've heard 100 times. I won't belabor those. Equal opportunity, harassment, et cetera, for Title IX. We have information regarding email services, and then also Blackboard and copyright statements. So you're not just taking and plagiarizing things when you use those in your papers. You have to actually have notations to note where the sources came from, so you're not infringing on somebody's copyright. So when we get down here, there's different services, and this is where the syllabi actually becomes pretty important too, is these are things that the university provides to the students. So like access and disability services, they'll reach out to me and tell me, hey, by the way, you have a student who needs to have exams read to them or a quiz read to them. And this is something I'm completely on board with. And many times I get an email long before the student reaches out to me to let me know of the issue. So if you have something like this, let me know, and I'll be happy to help you out. But here's their information. Military and veteran students, we have services for them on campus. For the library, this will be one of your assignments. You'll have to go check out some stuff at the library. This is kind of important if you have issues with Blackboard or anything going on with your student portal. These folks over here in D Building are fantastic. This is their email address if you have an issue, and their phone number, kind of like tech support on campus. So we do have computer labs on campus, and you can reach out to them, and we also have the ability for you to pick up computers that you can use remotely. We have to reach out to them and find out. Writing center to help you write papers, tutoring centers, which these it's a pretty sizable amount of courses that they have tutoring for, everything from physics all the way down to just English 101. Student Success Service is another service on campus that helps students actually become better test takers and strategize their time better. So here's where we kind of get into some stuff on here. And this is, I think, kind of crucial in this kind of COVID world we're living in. You know, we're all a little bit secluded. We all get a little bit wiggy. You're sitting there working on a computer. You don't really have much social interaction. And you look at this and you have psychological services on campus. And I would say, you know, if you have issues right now and you're struggling, you never should suffer in silence, especially in a college environment with the resources that are available to you. Reach out to these individuals in psychological services, you know, and they'll be happy to work with you. And keep in mind, these folks, they're happy to work with people. That's what they love doing. With the early alert team and the police, this is another example of, look, if you have an issue, you shouldn't suffer in silence. What if it's on campus, which is kind of going to be kind of rare, this term, but it could be student to student. It could be harassment on a Blackboard platform. You could be doing a homework assignment remotely. Maybe you meet somewhere to do a homework assignment, which I don't really think is advisable given the COVID world we're in, but that might happen. You know, if you are harassed in any way, these are the people you reach out to. And again, you shouldn't just sit there and suffer in silence and take it. You know, reach out and let people know. With this whole deal, we have behind the scenes an entire service in place called Starfish. And you can think of it like a starfish or like an octopus if you want, but it's called Starfish. And it's basically, you have these different tentacles, right? And at the center is the student. So here you are in the center of it, but each different arm on the starfish is a different person. So each one of you has your own starfish, right? So in your starfish, you'll have maybe your academic advisor, you'll have your English professor, you'll have me, you'll have your math professor, you'll have other individuals who are in your orbit while you're here at Harper. And where this becomes important is, like, I have one student who at one point said to me, man, I am getting slammed in my, I think it was a advanced algebra course or a trigonometry course of some variety, and he was in like this advanced level course. It was a calculus course. He was in advanced calculus. He's like, I'm getting slammed and I can't have a C and then transfer into UIC or wherever he was going. I don't know what the hell to do. I go, have you tried going to, like, you know, counseling? Have you tried going to and reaching out to tutors, etc.? He said, yeah, and he was still struggling. And so what I did was I generated a starfish and said, hey, this individual is having some trouble. Might it be better to explore a different class option for him to help him out? And sure enough, his counselor was able to reach out to the math instructor, who reached out to another math instructor who had room in his class, and they were able to put him in an appropriate class. And he minimized his risk of failing the course or getting a C, and actually maximized his chance of transferring to another school. So again, guys, you know, as you're a college student, you shouldn't just sit there and suffer. You know, I mean, you should be able to speak up and say something, whether it's, you know, to these individuals here, if you have some issues going on where it's just overwhelming at this point, you have some issues going on campus where you have somebody who perhaps is a threat, please reach out to the police. And if you have an issue with a course, you know, use one of your instructors that you might feel comfortable with as a sounding board and talk to them about maybe generating a starfish, so it's something that you can go ahead and use to your advantage. So with that, I'm going to sign off, guys, and I hope you have a great term, and I will catch you later. Bye.